Nets can say he's got 4 years left on the contract. We could just keep him. Is that a realistic threat, Nick Friedell?
They could keep him into training camp, Dan, but I expect Kevin to get moved. The issue that a lot of these teams are having is that if you're the Nets and you're saying, oh, well, we can keep him, then you don't know what you're going to end up getting in return in your best case offer. The Nets and Sean Marks do not want to move Kevin Durant, but they know in this moment in time that this might be the best way to reset your organization. But if you're these other teams, all these other teams are saying, okay, we see what's out there. We're not going to give you every single thing you want because we're going to gut what would then be a championship contender. If you're Durant in all of this, you're saying, well, don't trade this guy or don't trade that guy because I want to be able to come into a team that has a legitimate chance to win a title instantly, not a team that is completely rebuilt with what I would have to bring in. And I just don't see it being clear-cut in the next couple months, but this ultimately, to me, will get done because Kevin Durant wants it to.
To that point about wanting to join a winner, Zach Lowe, look, this trade request happened right before a holiday weekend, and we haven't been on the air all week yet. I feel like maybe the weekend got a little foggy. Did I hear something about the Warriors, the Golden State Warriors being a possible destination here? Like, is that at all realistic?
You sure did. That came from our own Mark Spears, who reported that the Warriors are interested. And guess what? Of course they're interested. It's Kevin Durant. And to Brian's point about the 4-year contract, teams are looking at this as he's 34 years old. He's had a couple of major injuries in his career. The first 2 years, we're confident in getting peak Kevin Durant. We got to be able to win the title in those first 2 years, have a good shot at it. The next two, we'll see how he ages. Well, there's no team better positioned to win the title in the next 2 years than the team that just won the title. I would say, number one, do not rule out the Warriors. Never rule out the Warriors. They are absolutely poking around, looking around, but there are some problems here. Number one, do the Nets like what the Warriors have to offer? Number two, the same arcane rule that prevents Ben Simmons and Bam Adebayo from playing together because of their designated rookie extensions applies to Andrew Wiggins, who has to be in this trade for salary matching purposes. Number three, what does Kevin Durant want? This is a guy who was maybe not ridiculed, but certainly criticized for joining a 73-win team who lost in the finals, for getting on the bus, as Charles Barkley has put it. Is he really going to accede to joining a team that just won the title? How would his future championships, if they win any, be viewed? That said, this is a trade. This isn't a free agency signing. Durant could say, this is a decision that was out of my hands. They just came and got me. Let's go hoop. So we'll see. There are tons of variables here.
Yeah, fascinating, the possibility that he could end up back in Golden State after all that. Wendy, how much leverage does he have in determining his destination?
That's a question, Dan. The Nets could say zero because of his contract, but if you're one of the teams that's thinking about trading for him, his desire to be there is a question mark, because if he demands a trade out of Brooklyn and gets it, what's to prevent him from demanding a trade out of your place in a year if he gets it? So, in terms of the Warriors, I'd like to refer to the Isaiah Thomas meme from The Last Dance, where he says, I met the criteria to be selected to the Dream Team, but he wasn't picked. The Warriors meet the criteria for what the Nets want, but I do not think that they will be selected.
Real quick final word, Nick.
2 quick notes, Dan. First, that Warriors relationship had run its course. After 3 years, I think both sides, Kevin and the Warriors, were kind of like, whew. So it would surprise me, having covered that team, having covered Kevin in Brooklyn, if there was a rekindling. And as far as Kevin goes, everybody's trying to always figure out what makes him happy. Yeah. It's been an ongoing theme in the league, and nobody has the answer except for him.
Maybe someday he will tweet about it. In the meantime, we will obviously keep a close eye on this. But when
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.